Thank you for joining us here on UCTV News tonight. I'm Chloe Vincenti.
And I'm Lindsay Kane. UConn students took a stand against rape culture during the Slut Walk on Friday. Over 100 students gathered in Fairfield Way to protest and march in ending rape victim blaming. Our main goal is to end rape culture, is to end the idea that a victim is in any way responsible for sexual assault, said the Revolution Against Rape President Megan Burke. Students shared their stories and showed support for one another. The ultimate goal of the Slut Walk is to change the way all people think about sexual assault.
A controversial program cover for Yale's football game against Dartmouth on Sunday has Yale under fire. The artwork that they used on the football game program features Native Americans on their cover. Dartmouth dropped their Native American mascot decades ago because they believed it was racially insensitive, which is why so many people were upset by the artwork. Yale Athletics quickly apologized for the artwork, saying Sunday, "We are truly sorry for the hurt this program cover caused, particularly for those from Native American communities."
Happening now, a plane crashed and caught fire in East Hartford. A small plane crashed on Brewer Street at Main Street at 3:30 p.m. today, according to NBC Connecticut. The twin-engine aircraft was on its way to Brainerd Airport when it went down. 2 people were in the plane. The conditions of those individuals is not yet known.
Now to the latest from Hurricane Matthew. While the storm only caused some wet weather here in Connecticut, high winds and flooding continue to cause devastation in several southeastern states. The storm has claimed more lives, killing 15 people in North Carolina, 3 in South Carolina, and 12 in Florida, raising the death toll to 34 total here in the U.S. And while the storm may be over now, North Carolina governor says flooding is expected to persist throughout the week. Thousands of victims are still evacuated from their homes as rescue crews continue to survey affected areas. That storm is awful and just has caused so much devastation here in the U.S.
Oh yes, it's going to take our entire country to help get these people
And I really
back on
hope
their
people
feet.
start, sending more crews to give
Right.
these people supplies. They've lost their homes. I can't even imagine how much stuff they're missing and what they need.
Oh yes, definitely. I hope these people get the help that they need very quickly. When we come back, more UCTV News. Stay tuned.
And now to Decision 2016. UCTV News' Ben Goldman is here to break down last night's debate.
Chloe, great to be with you and great to be with all of you. Last night, we all watched this debate. We couldn't stop watching it. It was 2 nights ago now.
Yes, things heated up quite a bit since the first debate, I'd have to say.
But I mean, what did you think? It was an hour and a half, 90 minutes long, nonstop, no commercial. And we really saw what we all thought as Americans we were going to see in that first debate.
Yeah, they really attacked each other, not even just politically, but on more social and personal matters, for sure.
Yeah, and moderators-wise, I mean, did you think that they were fair? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of, some people, on Trump's side saying they're leaning more towards being nice to Hillary as far as the moderation goes, and then people saying they were tougher on Hillary than the first debate. I mean, I feel like it's a matter of opinion in that case.
67 million people. With all eyes on the Trump campaign, the 2 candidates entered onto the stage without a handshake, took their seats, and the nation became silent. A night illustrated by constant split screen, the 2 presidential hopefuls showed up at the second debate ready to fight. While the expectations for Mr. Trump were low after a week filled with leaked audio recordings, many pundits thought that he exceeded expectations and put to rest concerns that his campaign was finished. After a week of Clinton's preparation on Trump's treatment of women, Trump knew he had to come out strong. The debate was a different format than the first one, with undecided voters sculpting the conversation, but it didn't always go that way. Both candidates spoke beyond their allotted times and swayed the conversation in directions of their choice. That choice was attacking the other person. The attacks were endless on both sides. Moments were cringeworthy. But let's focus on one moment that wasn't cringeworthy. The only true light shining through the darkness in this debate was one of the undecided voters on the stage to ask a question at the end of the debate by the name of Ken Bone. Ken Bone was wearing a bright red sweater made by Izod, and that red sweater is now out of stock online just 24 hours after the debate. America has simply fallen in love with Ken, and he has risen to elite celebrity status, asking just simply an energy question to both candidates. But in all seriousness, with less than 1 month left, the American people will be the final judge, not only regarding who won the debate and the next debate, which is actually on October 19th, but more importantly, who exactly will be running our country for the next 4 years.
Now let's talk about that last question, because that got a lot of rise on social media and from so many people who are watching.
Well, the thing was, the last two questions were the ones that really got people. First of all, Ken Bone, this guy in this red sweater, this innocent-looking guy who was nervous beyond belief to ask both of those candidates that question on energy.
Yeah.
America fell in love with him. There have been memes about it. People like it. People don't like it. He's just become
And
a celebrity.
I think people that do like it, it's just they got to see sort of a human side to Hillary and a more human side to Trump. They
Absolutely.
got to see kind of their softer sides instead of just them coming at each other with such,
Well, that last
rigorous
question,
questions.
right,
Yeah.
that last question, say one thing nice about the other person. Hillary went and said something about Donald's
His children.
His children.
Yep.
And he made a comment, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a compliment or this or that. I didn't really
Yeah.
get that. And then he went after Hillary with a compliment saying, she just doesn't quit. She keeps
doesn't give up.
going and going.
He said he's like, I don't agree with, what she's saying and what she stands for, but I will give her the fact that she stands up for what she's saying, and she's a fighter.
Now my question is, as a millennial generation, right? We want to see candidates who are out there at that debate talking about issues. We want to know, hey, what's going to happen with college tuition? What's going to happen with immigration? What's going to happen with abortion? What's going to happen with so many different things? Gay rights, especially today, coming out day here in America. We want to know what's going on with issues. That debate, I really thought, watching it, it was more filled with sound bites. You know what I mean? It was more,
Yeah.
Hillary saying, we're lucky that someone with your temperament's not running the country, and Donald saying, because you'd be in jail.
We didn't get the specifics that we're used to with the other presidential debates in the past.
Which
that's
I
for
actually
sure.
found interesting because they were surrounded by undecided voters. So they gave the platform to get as many details as possible, yet we just got sound bites. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on October 19th.
Right.
The format is not going to be a town hall format. It is going to be the format of the first debate with Lester Holt. So it'll be interesting to see what more the candidates bring. I mean, 1 month left, and one of these two people is going to be our next president, whether we like that or not.
And this debate is coming just after that video released of Trump that caused
Let's
a
talk
lot
about
of
that.
reaction.
Let's talk. We're taking some more time in our broadcast tonight, just to really, if you're just joining us, to delve into the second presidential debate, which just happened 2 nights ago, and now, Trump's video leakage. It is something that, I've never seen in any type of election.
Right.
So many Republicans are now taking back their endorsements,
Yes.
going back on their
Yes.
word,
Paul
saying that
Ryan
we
was
want
pretty
Trump.
upset about it. Does not back Trump.
That's actually the big story of the day.
Yeah.
House Speaker Paul Ryan, who really runs the Republican Party, is now saying, you know what, I don't endorse this guy. And
Right.
guess what? In the next 30 days, I'm not going to do anything for him. I'm not going to say anything about this election because I'm now focused on keeping the majority in the House, which is really what House and Senate, which is really what his main responsibility is. So 1 month left. My whole thing is this. If this one audio recording came out with Billy Bush on a bus for Access Hollywood, I'm guessing with The Apprentice and with so many different ventures that Donald has had, there's going to be more.
Right, right. And I think it was the producer of Entertainment Tonight who was saying that he had videos that were worse. And whether or not people are going to release these things is questionable, but...
It's crazy. And what was really nuts was that the one day that WikiLeaks, this huge thing, Russia hacking into Clinton's emails and releasing these emails with WikiLeaks, that wasn't the top story. Donald Trump was the top story. So it's just so crazy, these October surprises, they like to call them, right before the November 4th election. And we know we're just barely into October.
He got a lot of response from women too, because he called it locker room talk, and there are some people that agree with that. They say that's how guys talk.
Right.
And
Well,
then-
athletes are now coming out. Different
Yeah.
athletes on NFL teams and NBA teams are saying, "Hey, we're in locker rooms all the time, and that's not what we say."
Right.
I think the best part of this whole thing, other than the Ken Bone, was Tic Tacs coming out and saying, "Hey, we do not condone anything that Donald Trump has said. We just want to make sure that everyone has fresh breath." So,
Right.
that's kind of the bright side to all of this. But you know what? 30 more days left, and like I said, one of these two people is going to be our president.
Certainly exciting and a lot of stuff going on. So
Absolutely.
it will be interesting to see the next debate and, like you said, who will be our nation's president.
And you know what, before we wrap this up, let's just push it. Go on to our social media, right? We want people to go on. Let us know what you think. UCTV News, Twitter, Facebook, hit us up. And if you have questions and comments that maybe you want us to hit before this election comes up in one of our next newscasts, maybe we'll take some time and do that.
Definitely, and that just about wraps it up for us at UCTV News here tonight.
Remember, like I said, go on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, like our page, check us out on YouTube for constant updates about what's going on around campus, what's going on in our state and around the country. Thank you for spending your time with all of us tonight. And from all of us at UCTV News, good night.